curious to hear more about this.
Yeah.
We often hear about the horrors of slavery, but not enough about the resilience, creativity, and ingenuity of Black people throughout history.
Absolutely. The 1619 Project pushes back against that narrative. It's about recognizing the Black Americans who built institutions, shaped intellectual traditions, and created groundbreaking art, music.
Welcome to Witter. Who Has Time to Read? The podcast that brings deep dives for busy minds. Listen to AI hosts Jane and Dane and get ready to unpack the world's most captivating books in just a fraction of the time. Whether commuting, working out, or just squeezing in a quick break, we deliver key insights, thought-provoking themes, and takeaways you can carry into your day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Plus, use our links in the description to purchase this book. Your support helps us bring more engaging book discussions to you. Listen and follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Who has time to read? You do, with Witter.
Welcome back to Witter, Deep Dives for Busy Minds. We're continuing our Black Voices series for Black History Month, and today we're taking a deep dive into the 1619 Project, a new origin story, an expansion of the Pulitzer Prize-winning project, spearheaded by Nikole Hannah-Jones. This book, it isn't just a history lesson, it's a re-examination of the American narrative, centering the Black experience and its profound impact on our nation.
That's right. You see, this project, it reframes how we understand America by placing the consequences of slavery and the contributions of Black Americans front and center.
Okay, let's unpack this. So why 1619? It's not a date that usually pops up in your typical history class, right?
Exactly. August 1619 marks the arrival of the first enslaved Africans to the English colonies, a full year before the Mayflower. This fact is often omitted from standard historical accounts. Nikole Hannah-Jones even talks about this gap in her own understanding of Black history growing up. When she discovered this hidden truth, it sparked a powerful journey of anger, empowerment, and a thirst for knowledge.
Wow, I can only imagine that feeling of uncovering such a crucial piece of history. It's almost like finding a missing piece of yourself.
You hit the nail on the head. Historian Hassan Kwame Jeffries goes so far as to call this lack of comprehensive history education educational malpractice.
Yeah.
He argues that failing to teach the full story has dire consequences for our understanding of America.
Educational malpractice is a strong statement. It really makes you think about how much we might be missing. But the 1619 Project doesn't just stop at revealing this hidden history, right? It goes beyond that to explore the enduring impact of slavery.
Absolutely. The book draws direct lines between the past and the present, for example. It connects the historical evolution of self-defense laws to the legal disadvantages that Black Americans face today. Many of these laws were written in ways that often left Black individuals vulnerable and without adequate legal protection, a legacy that continues to impact their safety and rights today.
That's a powerful example of how the past is not really past. It's still shaping the present. And the book delves even deeper into this idea by connecting the exploitation of Black labor to the development of American capitalism.
Precisely. Think about the sharecropping system that emerged after the Civil War. This system trapped many Black families in a cycle of debt and poverty, directly benefiting white landowners and perpetuating economic inequalities rooted in the legacy of slavery. The book argues that this exploitation played a crucial role in the development of American wealth and power, a reality that's often overlooked.
It's shocking how deeply these historical injustices are woven into the fabric of our economic systems. And it's not just the economic sphere, right? The book also sheds light on how the legacy of slavery continues to impact healthcare and scientific research.
You're right. The book explores the evolution of scientific racism, from early experiments to the infamous Tuskegee syphilis study. This history demonstrates how racist ideologies influenced medical practices and research, leading to health disparities that Black communities still face today. It's a sobering reminder that even scientific fields aren't immune to the biases and prejudices that have shaped our history.
It's incredible how the 1619 Project manages to connect seemingly disparate aspects of American life back to this central theme of slavery's lasting impact. It's not just about historical facts and figures. It's about understanding the deep-rooted systems that continue to shape inequalities in our society.
And beyond just highlighting the consequences of slavery, the project shines a light on the incredible contributions of Black Americans to every facet of American life.
I'm curious to hear more about this.
Yeah.
We often hear about the horrors of slavery, but not enough about the resilience, creativity, and ingenuity of Black people throughout history.
Absolutely. The 1619 Project pushes back against that narrative. It's about recognizing the Black Americans who built institutions, shaped intellectual traditions, and created groundbreaking art, music, and literature. This project reminds us that Black history is American history, woven into the very tapestry of our nation.
That makes me think about a powerful quote from a student in the book who said, learning this history made him want to carry myself better because I know what my ancestors went through.
That's a beautiful sentiment. It speaks to the profound sense of empowerment that comes from understanding your history, your roots, and the incredible legacy of resilience that you carry within you. And it's not just about individual empowerment, it's about recognizing the collective strength and perseverance of Black communities throughout American history. And that's where the book really shines. It goes beyond the broad strokes of history and delves into specific instances of Black resistance and resilience.
That's what I love about this project. It's not just about acknowledging the suffering, but also about celebrating the strength and perseverance of Black people in the face of unimaginable adversity.
Exactly. The book talks about events like the German Coast Uprising and the Denmark-Vesey conspiracy, powerful examples of organized resistance against slavery. These stories remind us that even in the darkest of times, there were always those who fought back, who dared to dream of freedom, and took action to achieve it.
It's like those stories inject a much-needed dose of hope into a narrative that could easily become overwhelmingly bleak.
Absolutely. And that fight for freedom didn't end with the abolition of slavery. The book also chronicles the ongoing struggle for civil rights, from Reconstruction to the Civil Rights Movement and beyond. It highlights the pivotal role of the Black church as a center of activism and community organizing, a testament to the enduring spirit of resistance and the fight for equality.
You know, one of the things that struck me was the book's discussion of the idea of racial progress mythology. Can you elaborate on that for our listeners?
Sure. The 1619 Project challenges this often comforting belief that America has steadily marched towards racial equality. While progress is undeniable, the book argues that clinging to this mythology can blind us to the persistent inequalities that still need to be addressed. It's not about denying progress, but about recognizing that the journey towards true equality is far from over.
So it's about having a more nuanced and honest conversation about race and racism in America.
Precisely. And the book does this in a way that's both thought-provoking and emotionally resonant. For example, the poem 1619 paints a visceral and heart-wrenching picture of the transatlantic slave trade, forcing us to confront the brutal realities of this history and its lasting impact.
I remember that poem. It's incredibly powerful. It really brings the human cost of this history to the forefront, making it impossible to ignore.
Exactly. The book uses art, literature, and personal stories to weave a tapestry of Black experiences in America, both past and present. It's not just about dates and events. It's about understanding the lived realities of Black people and how their stories have shaped the nation.
And this reframing of the American narrative has sparked quite a bit of controversy, hasn't it?
It certainly has. The 1619 Project challenges deeply ingrained narratives about American history, and that can be uncomfortable for some. The controversy surrounding the project reveals how deeply divided Americans are, about how we view our past, and how comfortable we are with truly examining it.
It seems like this discomfort stems from a resistance to acknowledging the ways in which the legacy of slavery continues to permeate our institutions and systems.
You're right. And the book argues that this reckoning with the past is essential for creating a more just and equitable future. It's not about assigning blame or guilt, but about understanding the root causes of systemic inequalities and working to dismantle them.
It sounds like the 1619 Project is more than just a history book. It's a call to action.
Absolutely. The book concludes with a powerful message, urging readers to engage with this history, not just passively consume it. It encourages us to grapple with its implications and work towards a more just future.
And that call to action seems to have resonated far beyond the pages of the book.
It has. The 1619 Project has inspired educational initiatives, sparked ongoing debates about how history is taught, and fueled the movement for reparations. It's ignited a firestorm of conversation. And that's precisely what the creators intended.
It's incredible to see how this project has spurred such a wide-ranging and impactful dialogue. So for our listeners who are feeling fired up and ready to learn more, what can they take away from this deep dive?
Well, first and foremost, I think this book challenges us to reflect on how this new understanding of history, presented in the 1619 Project, changes our own perceptions of America. It's not about erasing or rewriting history, but about expanding it, filling in the gaps, and seeing the fuller picture.
It's like we've been looking at a tapestry with threads missing, and the 1619 Project is helping us see those missing threads, those missing voices, and how they complete the picture.
That's a fantastic analogy. It helps us understand that history is a tapestry woven from multiple perspectives and experiences, and it's up to us to seek out those missing voices and weave them into our understanding of the past.
And it's not just about the past, right? Understanding this history is crucial for addressing the inequalities that persist in the present.
Exactly. The 1619 Project challenges us to think critically about how the legacy of slavery continues to manifest in our society, whether it's through mass incarceration, voter suppression, or the racial wealth gap. It encourages us to connect the dots between historical injustices and contemporary issues, understanding that the fight for racial justice is an ongoing process.
So it's not just about learning history, it's about applying that knowledge to create a more just and equitable future.
You got it. The book serves as a powerful reminder that we all have a role to play in dismantling systems of oppression and creating a society where everyone has the opportunity to thrive.
That's a powerful message, and one that's particularly relevant during Black History Month, a time dedicated to celebrating Black achievements and acknowledging the ongoing struggle for racial justice.
Absolutely. And as we continue to explore Black voices and experiences throughout this month, I hope our listeners will take this message to heart.
I agree. And speaking of exploring Black voices, what other stories of Black resistance and resilience are out there, waiting to be told and amplified?
That's a great question. And it brings us to one of the most exciting aspects of this project. It's a gateway to a whole world of knowledge and perspectives. The 1619 Project itself features the work of so many talented Black writers, historians, poets, and academics. I highly recommend exploring their work further.
That's a great point. This book is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
And there's so much more to discover.
Exactly. And that's one of the most important takeaways from this deep dive. It's an invitation to continue learning, to seek out diverse perspectives, and to amplify the voices that have been historically marginalized.
So where do we go from here? What can our listeners do to continue this journey of discovery?
One of the best things you can do is intentionally seek out works by Black authors. Make a conscious effort to diversify your reading list, your podcast queue, and the media you consume.
It's like actively choosing to broaden our understanding of the world and to challenge our own perspectives.
Exactly. And it's not just about reading books. You can also attend lectures, support Black-owned businesses, engage in meaningful conversations about race and racism, and advocate for policies that promote racial equity.
There's so many ways to engage with Black voices.
Yeah.
And contribute to positive change.
Absolutely. And remember, Black history isn't just for Black History Month, it's American history, and it deserves our attention year-round.
That's a great reminder. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the 1619 Project, what's one key takeaway you hope our listeners will carry with them?
I think the most important takeaway is that history is never static. It's a living, breathing thing that's constantly being reshaped and reinterpreted as new evidence emerges and new voices are heard. The 1619 Project is a powerful example of how challenging the dominant narrative can lead to a more complete and nuanced understanding of our past and our present.
I couldn't have said it better myself. This project has really challenged my thinking and left me with a lot to ponder. What about you? Did any particular aspect of the book stand out to you?
For me, it was the emphasis on the resilience and creativity of Black people throughout history, despite the horrors of slavery and the ongoing struggle for equality. Black Americans have made incredible contributions to our nation in every field imaginable. That spirit of perseverance and innovation is truly inspiring.
It's a testament to the strength and resilience of the human spirit. So to bring it back to our mission here at Witter, deep dives for busy minds. What's one thing you hope our listeners take away from this deep dive into the 1619 Project?
I hope our listeners walk away with a renewed sense of curiosity about history and a commitment to seeking out diverse perspectives. The 1619 Project offers a starting point, a framework for understanding the complexities of American history and the ongoing struggle for racial justice. It's an invitation to continue learning, questioning, and engaging in meaningful conversations about race and equality.
It's definitely a conversation that needs to continue. So for our listeners who are eager to keep exploring, we'll include links to the project's website and other resources in our show notes. You can find a wealth of information there, including the podcast, documentary series, and educational materials.
And don't forget to check out the works of the many talented Black authors featured in the book. Their voices offer unique and invaluable insights into the Black experience in America.
I completely agree. Supporting Black authors is a powerful way to amplify these voices and ensure that their stories continue to be told.
Well said. And as we continue our Black Voices series throughout Black History Month, I encourage everyone to actively seek out more stories, perspectives, and experiences from the vast and vibrant world of Black literature.
A huge thank you to our listeners for joining us on this deep dive into the 1619 Project. And remember, this is just the beginning of our exploration of Black voices and experiences. We've got a whole month of fascinating deep dives ahead, so stay tuned.
And until next time, keep those minds curious and keep diving deep into the rich tapestry of Black history and culture.
We'll see you next time.